Welcome everyone, this is Jed Shlackman, and for this video I'll be returning to a topic I've covered somewhat in the past, which is the subject of forgiveness. And this is often a challenging issue for people to address. In our lives, we often associate the idea of forgiveness with letting other people off the hook, so to speak, with not holding them responsible or accountable for their actions. And as a consequence of that, people will hold on to their anger and resentment and condemnation toward other people and carry a lot of emotional baggage and attachment to the past. So with that awareness, let's consider forgiveness in a different way, as something that you are doing for yourself to help you release that emotional baggage and to help you release the past in that sense, to just allow life to be whatever it is, whatever has unfolded, to actually accept and embrace your life in its totality with a spiritual understanding that everything that's occurring in life is part of a bigger picture. It's part of our soul's growth or evolution, and there's nothing to reject or resist about life in that context. While at the same time, we do have our perceptions of people's actions. We can evaluate if something seems positive or negative, if it seems healthy or unhealthy, if it was hurtful or abusive toward us. And with that viewpoint or understanding, we can hold people accountable for their actions. We can maintain healthy boundaries, choosing to not allow ourselves to be abused or mistreated further by other people, at least to the extent that we have the power or control over our circumstances. So we can address this from both levels of perspective, from the practical human life perspective of loving ourselves, valuing ourselves, considering our own well-being, our own safety, and so on, and applying whatever actions are needed to support that value or concern for ourselves, while at the same time, if we feel people have done things that were very abusive or harmful, we can release the emotional energy or frustration that's built up from having gone through those experiences. So whatever emotional trauma you could say was generated, we have the opportunity to recognize it, to allow it to surface and come through us, and for that energy to be released in some manner so that we're no longer holding it within us, and we're also free now to move forward in our own life, to not carry that weight, to not carry anger within our own being, to not carry resentment or hatred or any desire to permanently condemn another person, to treat them as though they're not a valid part of creation. If we look at it from a spiritual or soul perspective, we can view each person or individual as here playing a role in this earth life experience, and all of these roles in some manner work together co-creatively to allow every soul an opportunity for learning and exploring and evolving and so on. So we can acknowledge that, and with that acknowledgement and understanding, we don't have to hold resentment or anger toward the other person for whatever abusive actions they may have taken. We might perceive or recognize that there's a deeper purpose for all of that having occurred, that in some way or manner it led to our personal growth and evolution, to us seeing things in a more complete or holistic manner, or for us empowering ourselves in learning to build healthy boundaries, in learning to discern when we are being mistreated or not, and asserting ourselves and taking actions to promote our own well-being. So that's where self-love is important. We do need to value and love ourselves. It's common for some people to go to an imbalance, in a sense, or extreme of being overly concerned for the feelings and welfare of other people and neglecting oneself. And if you do that for too long, you might build up a lot of anger and resentment, since you've allowed people to continue to mistreat you a lot. And if you don't work on this healing and forgiveness process from this deeper understanding, there's the potential for you to start acting out that anger, that resentment or frustration, for you to lash out in some manner that you wish you wouldn't have done. You could become the one who actually is the abuser at some point if you don't resolve this issue with forgiveness. So I encourage each of you to consider this topic more deeply, to understand these different dimensions of forgiveness, to realize that forgiveness in a way is an inside job, something that you're doing for your own inner peace and relief, for your own freedom, your liberation from the past, to allow you to go forward in life, to be open to receive different forms of experience, to be open to having positive relationships, while at the same time you don't give other people a free pass for their actions. You can take steps that are needed to help people be confronted, to help them have accountability for their actions, to have them take responsibility in some manner for whatever actions they've carried out. Yet doing this, setting these boundaries without holding this feeling of anger or resentment, understanding you're just doing it for your own safety, your own well-being, and ultimately for the growth and learning and evolution of all people involved in the situation. If you were to just allow another person to continue to get away with abusive behavior, then you're actually helping them stuck. You're helping enable that pattern to continue. You're really not providing them an opportunity to learn and evolve. So when you set boundaries, when you love yourself and speak up and take action for your own well-being, you are also helping other people. You're bringing to their awareness potentially something they need to face or recognize about themselves and their actions. So don't be afraid to trigger some feeling of hurt, some form of suffering in another person that may temporarily be necessary for them to get them to the point where they'll actually start to take responsibility and develop more empathy for others. I hope that you've gained some insight and something of benefit for yourself from this discussion. For those that are interested in personal growth and holistic health and wellness, I invite you to view some other topics I've covered and some other videos on my channel. You're also invited to visit my website, which is phinsights.com. That's phinsights.com. for right now, I'd like to wish each of you a wonderful day. Namaste.